So, in today's video, we will discuss about service catalog item and how the catalog form is going to be created and how the backend workflow is designed for that. So, before going to see those details, I just wanted to let you know what is service catalog means. So, first of all, if you wanted to get any like if you wanted to fill the application form, any of the application forms, you will get the paper with some questions. In the questions, so you will have to fill those questions manually, and you will be giving that application form to the person who is given that to you. Here in the service now, the same way we will create the form here in the ServiceNow tool, and end user is going to fill the details, and after filling or submitting the request, what is going to be done through that request, that things we'll see here. As a service catalog, we are going to discuss. I just wanted to let you know there will be one request created once you submit the catalog item, and for that one particular request, one requested item will be created automatically, and through that requested item, we are going to, as a technician, we are going to give the resolution. First of all, this is my requirement. So I just wanted to create a catalog item for access card. If you are a new joinee to any organization, you wanted to get some accesses to the floors, or at least entry gate access, something. That's why you are going to raise a request in ServiceNow instance. Like this is the form. The form should be with these fields. Requested for field should be there, and it should be reference type. So a person can select whoever the person, like I can raise a request for other persons as well. So even though I am raising a request, I am able to select the person who exactly requires this particular access, and joining date of that particular user has to be entered. So the next field should be joining date, and my other field is department with the drop down of IT and support, and comments with multi-line text. And as soon as the request is submitted here, the workflow, like user is going to submit the request and they will be relaxed, but this access should be given by someone, right? So to provide that access, we are, as a ServiceNow developer, we are going to create a workflow here. Like as soon as the request is submitted, users manager approval should be taken. So this workflow will have to create in a backend, and we'll have to attach this particular workflow to the catalog item, and we will see how we are going to do that. And if at all this person users manager accepts this particular I mean approve the request, that time this particular request RITM is going to be approved, and catalog task has to be created, and the task should be assigned to database team. Here I have randomly taken the assignment group as database team, and once it is closed, the catalog task is closed, then RITM should go to closure complete and request has to be closed. So these things will have to configure it in workflow. If at all your users manager is going to reject the RITM, that time RITM should go to closed incomplete state. So this is what my requirement is. Now we will see how we can configure that in real time, instance. So to configure the catalog item, I'll have to go maintain items in the instance. If I open this, you can see the table name sc underscore cat underscore item. So this is the table name where all the catalog items are stored. And now these are all existing catalog items. I'm going to create a new catalog item here. Here this name indicates name of the catalog item. Now I will name this as access card request. And catalogs category, we will have to mention there are two catalogs in the system. I will mention it under service catalog path, and under service catalog we have these many categories here. Maybe we will select based on what request it should be. So Now randomly I will select like services. That means access card request is stored under the catalog service catalog request. Under the service catalogs, the category of services, we will be able to get this access card request form. And here owner means the person by default here under owner name, the person who is going to create the particular catalog item, that person name is going to be shown up. If at all your client will give you any specific name to mention it as a owner, if at all one person is going to take responsibility of that particular catalog item, that time we will have to update it to that person. And here in item details, you will have to mention the short description and description. So, and I will mention short description as provide access card to user. I will use the same description. Then here under process engine, this flow will indicate flow designer and this workflow is a workflow, and this workflow is the what we need to design in backend. So we will see this one later. First we will create this catalog item first. And here picture, if you have any particular pictures available for your particular catalog item, that time you can come to icon or picture, you will attach the pictures for your catalog item or form. This pricing indicates pricing information of your catalog item if it is any, but for our particular requirement, there's no pricing details. And portal settings here. First of all, what is portal for? So this is a URL for instance one, and if you open SP with this URL, this will be homepage service portal. This will be accessible by any one of the person, anyone. Like there's no specific restrictions for service portal page. Whoever the user in the instance, that people can access it. So now I will go to request something here. You can see here we have okay, I didn't save it yet. Let me save it once. So we have saved this particular form under service catalogs of category services. So category, this is service catalog. Now we are with all categories. Now uh, I will go to category services and I'll have to search for access card request. If you open this access card request, you can see the path service catalog under office, under services, access card request is there. And this indicates whatever the name you have given to the form, I mean catalog item. So I have given access card request, so it is showing up like this. And this indicates short description. This indicates description of the item whichever I have given. So I have entered both as same data, so it is showing up that. Let's come to portal settings. Here request method, order, request, submit. So both all three will be working as same, but based on the requirement, we can make it as order or submit or something. So hide add to cart. Here you can see add to cart as a button. If you wanted to hide that, you can hide it by clicking it here. Hide quantity, delivery time. If you wanted to hide those things, delivery time, quantity. If you wanted to hide these things, you can enable this. This is also same. So this particular section is only for portal related things. So since I made it as order here you can see order now. And if I come down, this is a variable. But this particular field indicates the questions which is going to ask the customer. I mean end user. Here in the requirement, we have mentioned it as a fields requested for joining date, department, comment. So all these fields should be created here. Variables, I will have to create new variable for first question requested for. It should be reference field. So I will select the type as a reference. I will give the order 100, requested for, and I'm okay with the backend value of the system provided and type specifications. I will have to redirect it to this user table so that I am able to select any of the user from the list of users. So I will reference this to sys user table. Sys user, there are many with sys user, so I will have to select the correct table. Let me update it. It's taking some time. Once we update it and save it, then automatically the field will be created in the service portal page and we can see that how it looks. Once we create this one, we'll have to create other variables also as similar to this. And the next question would be joining date. So we'll have to create this one. And that for that a date or type of field should be date we'll have to select. Here for this we have selected reference as a field type, right? So for that one we'll have to select date as a field type. And now for this one I'll have to enter this user, this underscore user. Yeah, here it is. Now I have referenced this to this user table. That is it. If I wanted to make this question mandatory, I can make it here and I will submit it. Our next question would be joining date with the field type should be date. I will click on new. Question name would be joining date. And here the type I should select date. Joining date. I wanted this to be mandatory. I will make it mandatory there. And department is a question with a drop down of two options, IT and support. I will click on new again. I will enter. I'll have to select the first type. So to get the drop down, we'll have to select that option as select box. So if you select the type as select box, we will get the drop down option and we will enter it as a 300. Department is a question. If I save this one, I will get question choices options below to this so that I will be able to enter my choice options there. What are my choice options here? IT and support. Question choices, create new one. So text, this text will indicate the front end value which user is going to see here in this particular page, and value means back end value. If at all if you require any scripting required on this particular field, that time you need to take this particular backend value whatever you have given. Submit, and second option is support. So I'll have to go choice options again, question choices. I will create new choice for the question support. I will just enter the value also support. That's it. I'm done with the department field. Now comments, that should be multi-line text field. And now I will create a new comment, a new field with the name of comment. 400 order. Here it is selected as single line text, multi-line text. I'll have to enter comments. That's it. Submit. Now, okay, joining that order 200. So this order indicates where exactly this question has to be located. 100 means first question, 200 second question, 300, 400 next questions. So whatever the order would be lowest, that indicates that will be your first question. Whatever the order will be highest, that indicates that will be the last question. So I'm just done with creating the variables. I'll just save the form and let me come to this page, and if I refresh, we will be getting a form here. Wow, we are able to get the form. So see here, requested for question, we made it as mandatory, and here it is indicates all the user details. Next, joining date, we have selected the type as date format, so it is allowing the user to select only date, and department with two drop-down options, and comments is a free text multi-line text. So now user is going to create the request here. So they wanted the access card, and for whom they want, like if Abel Tutor is a requested for Abel Tutor wanted the access card, they will select as Abel Tutor and they will enter the joining date, which which department that Abel Tutor comes under, and comments if any, and they'll click on order now. But as of now, we didn't create any backend flow to work on. Like request will be submitted, but the request should be shown to the people who is really providing access, right? So to show that one, we'll have to create the workflow. Guys, ServiceNow is very easy to learn and very easy to explore also. So here in this workflow, we will have to create the data whichever we discussed here, these things. Like what should happen after the request is submitted. And now I will come to this workflow. I need to search for workflow. You can see under workflow module, you can see workflow editor. Once you click on this, here you can see new workflow, and these are all the workflows already existing in the system. And if you click on new workflow, it will comes under new page, and here we will have to name the workflow also, because once naming is done, we will have to attach this particular workflow to catalog item. Like this catalog item, we will have to attach it, and I am going to name it as access card request, otherwise workflow for access card table. Which table we wanted to make this particular workflow? It should be SC underscore REQ underscore item, service catalog requested item. So after request is created, there will be having one requested item, right? As we discussed, there will be having one requested item. So I need to select the requested item table name. That's it. I will submit it. As soon as I submit it, now I will see begin and end. Flow is like a starting point. I'm able to see the starting point and I am able to see the ending point. But in between, I will have to define, right? So I will just remove this. What we have mentioned here, as soon as request is submitted, users manager approval should be taken. Now, I will go to users manager approval. How can I get it? Here, you can see core as a module here. Under this core activities, all the things will be mentioned. Like if you see approvals, if you expand this one, all the things related to approval is showing up here. Approval group. If you require any group approval, you can just drag this and drop this side. Here for me, I wanted to get a users manager approval. So there will be one person. So approval user. If it is for one user approval, you can get it like this, like drag and drop. So if you just keep the cursor on that particular name, you will be able to read it, what exact function that particular core activity is going to do. And you guys can read this. Just keep the cursor. If it is for conditions, if switch these conditions, you can just keep the cursor here and read what that will do. For our requirement, approval user will be best suit because I just need a users manager approval. And now, once I get it this side, I will have to name it, name that approver functionality, approvers, so that then if the naming is perfect, the developer who is going to work on this particular workflow in future, they don't need to open it again and again. By the naming itself, okay, they will understand, okay, this particular approval, this particular thing is for approvals. So they will be able to understand. I will just name it as approvers, and if there is any conditions, like specify the conditions that when met cause a user approval to be generated. But here we don't have any specific condition to give, so we will skip this particular thing. Approvers. Here is the place we will have to update the users manager information. If you unlock this, if you have a static person, like one specific person is a approver, like a bill tutor is a approver for this particular workflow or particular catalog item, you can directly click on this magnifying symbol and select a bill tutor. But for our case, user is different every time and users manager is different every time. So that time what we'll have to do, we'll have to dot walk here, and here we will have to select requested for. So our question is requested for, right? Request first question requested for. So in requested for, end user is going to give their name, and we are going to get their name. And requested for, here I can see manager. So I have been dot walk into requested for and selected manager. So this is the value we have entered here. So whenever based on this, whoever the person logged in, I mean whoever the person is there in requested for field, those manager name will be there for approvers. I will lock it. And if you click here, you will be added as a approver. Advanced section will indicate if any script is required here, but for our case, script is not required. And here wait for it is asking for. This will give few options. If there are multiple approvers, that time you will be able to configure if anyone is able to approve that particular request. If that is fine to proceed, that time you will have to select anyone to approve. If there are suppose to provide access card, if there is multiple managers are there one for one person, if any one of the managers is approved that, then it is okay to go. We can select anyone to approve. But if multiple managers are there and multiple managers should be approved, all the managers should be approved before going to give the access. That time we'll have to select everyone to approve. And these two are also same. First response from anyone, then it can go further. So here I will make it as anyone to approve. Same way when anyone rejects to approvers, like that approval activity should go for rejected state. This is about approver activity. Now, if I submit this, the result of this approver thing will be either approved or rejected. So our next case is, as of now, we have just mentioned this. Users manager approver I have entered, and the output would be either approved or rejected. So if he accepts, then catalog task has to be created. So now I will have to create a catalog task. Here you can search for catalog task. If you search for catalog, task will be there. I will just name it as a table name. We'll have to enter, and we'll have to name it. I will just name it as catalog item only. Catalog item for access card maybe. Here task values from fields. Here we can set the details. Fulfillment group, what we have discussed. Assignment group should be database. So I will enter fulfillment group as database. If you wanted to assign this particular catalog task by default to one person, that time you can also enter any person from database team. But on short description, what if you wanted to provide any short description for task, you can enter it here. I will mention, please grant the access to user. And under instructions field, you can give any of the description to the catalog task. That's it, guys. If you need any script required for this particular catalog task, you can mention in under advanced, but it is not required for our case. So I will just submit it. As soon as that thing is done, what should happen is once it is closed, RITM should go to closed complete and request has to be closed. Now I will have to set the values like set values, and I'll have to update RITM with closed complete stage. So the naming will have to enter and stage will have to enter. I will name it as set values. Set these values. Which values I'll have to set? Stage. Stage I'll have to set it to completed, and state I'll have to set it to closed complete. That's it. I'm able to select the values here. Now, if that is done, the flow should be ended. Now I will just arrange the path, just arranging the node points. This is one node. I'm giving this after starting. It has to go to here. If it is approved, the catalog task has to be generated. If catalog task is completed, set values. So RITM will be going for closed complete state. Then it is going to be ended. So this is how the path should be if it is approved. If at all, if it is rejected, what should happen? RITM should go to closed incomplete state. So I will go to set values again. I will get it this side. Name it as rejected state values. And I just need to update here rejected state values. What should I update it here? State as incomplete, closed incomplete. Stage is maybe request cancelled. I will update. I will just submit it, and I will connect the nodes here from rejected to close rejected set values. Once that is done, RITM will be closed. So this is how, guys, we will mention the workflow here. So as of now, we are able to get it here, but this has to be attached here for this particular access card request catalog item under this process engine workflow. So to get it here, first of all, we will need to publish it. Publish means indirectly saving this. So I am able to submit this and publish. If I search here with the name workflow for access card, if I search workflow for access card, I'm able to get it. I have attached here. I will save it now. That's it, friends. We are able to attach the workflow. Here we have already created the form. So with the same details, a bill tutor. Let me refresh the form. Here I'm able to attach the workflow. If I submit the form here, the backend workflow will be triggered based on this. Requested for, I will enter a bill tutor. Joining date may be 10th. Department comments, I will enter it as testing. Here we can enter any comments if it is there for the uh, people who is going to resolve this particular request. If you wanted to give any of the information to them, that time you can enter real-time scenarios like what exact information you wanted to inform them. So I'm just testing this randomly, so I will enter testing and I'll click on order now. Able tutor has to be there. Requested for is able tutor, right? So I'll check out. Yeah, I got the request number here. I will go to global search. Request number, I will enter it here. For this particular request number, I have one RITM. So this is the RITM. What we have triggered here, as soon as request is submitted, it has to go for users approvers. Users manager, right? So it has been sent to Abraham Lincoln's approval. You can see here who is user. Requested for username is Abel Tutor. If you open his record, manager is Abraham Lincoln. So it has been gone to Abraham Lincoln approval. Let me approve the request. What will happen? So since he approved it, catalog task has been created, and you can see catalog task is automatically assigned to assignment group is database, and short description, please grant the access to user. So these things we have been set it in workflow itself, right? So this is how backend things will pushing up the data in front end. And if at all the database team is able to work and complete this work, complete the task, that time they will click on close task. So if it is closed complete, we have set it as RITM state is state and state closed complete and completed. So this is how it works. Also we can see here show workflow. If you click on this, it will show up on which particular path the data has been triggered. The request has been submitted here. It has been for approvers. He approved it, so approval node has been taken, task has been created, values has been set, then finished. So this is one way. And now I will go again. We'll create another request to see how rejection process works. So I can search the form name, access card request, access card request. If I open it and submit the form again, we'll check for rejection details. Same able tutor I will select, joining date, testing. Now the request will be created. If I open this request, there will be one RITM. Yeah, this is the RITM. If I open this RITM, it should have been to approvers, Abraham Lincoln approval. Now I will reject the request. What will happen? Stage is automatically set it to request cancelled and closed incomplete. So this is what we have set it in the workflow, right? We will see it in our show workflow. Now the path is different. The request is begin. It has been to approvers. In this approver field, they rejected it. So we have set the field values here, and flow has been ended. This is what service now is very easy to understand, and we are very easily able to configure the things in backend as well. So this is about today's class. Thank you.